The period of ancient Roman civilization is characterized by an autocratic form of government and large territorial holdings in Europe and around the Mediterranean. Roman expansion began in the days of the Republic, but the empire reached its greatest extent under Emperor Trajan. During his reign, the Roman Empire controlled approximately 6.5 million kilometers of land surface. Because of the empire's vast extent, the institutions and cultures of Rome had a lasting influence on the development of language, religion, architecture, philosophy, law, and forms of government in Europe. After the Romans took over barbarian lands, they would have the barbarian people pay taxes to the Roman emperors, which made the barbarian tribes angry. Also, the Romans would take the tribes' women to different places and put them to work as slaves. Sometimes they would also take men from the barbarian tribes and use them as mercenary soldiers to fight in Rome's battles. History books have been known to exclude information about key events in this story to keep the facts simple or to hide what actually happened. Real information on the fall of Rome is hard to find because barbarian invaders burned many historical documents and artifacts during this time. Now we must rely on historical researchers from the 1800s such as Edward Gibbon, J.B. Murray, and William McNeill to explain the rest of the story. These researchers concluded that the fall of the Roman Empire was partly due to depopulation. This depopulation was caused by starvation and the plague. The slave system that was in place during this time in history didn't let the farmers eat the crops they harvested because they had to pay the crops as taxes to the lords for their Roman provinces. The bubonic plague ravaged through the empire and left people dead in the streets and continued making people sick over a period of many years. The true downfall of Rome came into play because of all these events. After the plague and mass depopulation, the Roman Empire needed more people to pay taxes and reproduce children to keep the Roman Empire economically afloat. They thought by bringing in barbarians from the places they had conquered, they would be able to replenish the population and regroup them into military to expand forces that they had lost to the plague. When they did this, it was a sure sign that the empire had weakened. More barbarian tribes to the west and east saw this as a perfect opportunity to take advantage of the falling empire. The different tribes attacked in many different places around the same time. The empire was unable to recover from the attacks due to the depopulation problems, and that was the ultimate fall of the Roman Empire. The same barbarian tribes that the Romans had conquered in earlier centuries now had ravaged their lands and built their own new homes in the same provinces once owned by their Roman enemies. I think you could say, in the case of the Romans, what goes around comes around. And now you know the rest of the story.